Are you an impulse buyer? And are you looking to change that? Story for context. My friends and I like to have what we call a treat yourself day from time to time, where we have a full day of shopping, drinking coffee and eating at Wagamama. We take turns going into the shops that we want to go into, and normally one of them's like, buy everything. If you see it and you like it, buy it. Where on the other hand, I'm the one that's trying to get them to make rational purchasing decisions so they don't end up spending £200 in one shop, which has happened before, by the way. Let me know in the comments if you can relate. I thought this topic would make a great video for those that are trying to be more conscious shoppers or those that struggle with impulse buying, just like my mates. Before we dive in, if we haven't met before, then hi, my name's Maddie and my channel is all about travels, our oceans and sustainability. So if these are things that you're into as well, then please subscribe so I can carry on making more content like this. Okay, let's get into the topic of impulse buying, which is, by definition, the buying of goods without planning to do so in advance as a result of a sudden whim or impulse. I'll cover why in today's world this can be a bit of a problem, and I'll also give you some tips on how to control your impulses so you can start shopping consciously and sustainably. As someone that's been working in marketing for several years, it's really easy to see all this product marketing, and it's literally everywhere and we see it constantly. But these ads and all this digital marketing has one purpose, and that is to get you to part with your money in exchange for something. And oftentimes it's stuff that you don't really need. But you're convinced through marketing that this will solve some sort of pain point of yours, or it'll tug on your heartstrings in some way. Hands up, who's a victim here? It's so manipulative, but this is how the companies make money and stand out from the competition. The option to buy anything that you could possibly imagine has also increased with the birth of social media. The rise of platforms like TikTok have given birth to TikTok Shop, where brands and influencers showcase products where they make them look like they are a must-have and that you can't live without them. These trends and the platforms that come with them often fuel impulse buying. Don't forget that influencers on these platforms also make some money from commissions and affiliate links, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate the hustle. And I too can make money from this, which helps me create this content that I provide to you guys. But it's important to remember, not everything that's trendy or that's being advertised by your favourite creator is aligned with your needs and values. And that goes for anything that I may promote, that I might endorse or get paid for too. Online shopping is obviously a big factor for impulse buying, but that's made worse by all these seasonal sales, which lure us in with big discounts and limited time offers. It's essential to ask yourself, am I buying this item because I truly need it, or am I being enticed by all the marketing and the sales? You need to ask yourself this regularly, especially if you're wanting to shop more sustainably and ethically, or even if you're just trying to save money. And sometimes things aren't even discounted, they're just hiked up in price right before the sale, and then they'll drop again, so it makes you look like you're getting a bargain. And remember, it's not a good deal if that product just ends up as clutter. One thing you should consider is if a product has purpose beyond the current season. This applies to seasons like Christmas, Halloween and Easter. Everyone loves Halloween and Christmas, but they're the worst seasons for impulse buying and waste. I love Halloween so much, and autumn is my favourite season. Although I'm not a pumpkin spice girly, don't come at me. But I think the amount of things to buy in shops around this time of year is crazy, and it's also so wasteful. Especially when it's literally just for one day of the year, like Halloween or Christmas. There is so much plastic on the shelves at shops, especially when it's not needed. You can literally DIY decorations at home with things that you already have. Or things can be made from non-plastic materials. But don't get me wrong, the fall, autumn season, whatever you want to call it, the stuff is adorable. I really have to stop myself buying things whenever I go into a shop when it's this time of year. But that's the power of controlling your impulses. If you do buy seasonal decorations, try and buy ones that will last you for years and years to come instead of single-use decorations. This can easily be done with homeware like throws and cushions, providing that you use them every year and you also store them correctly so they don't get damp and they don't get ruined. And bonus points if they're made with plastic-free materials. When it comes to trying to combat your impulsive urges, apps like Temu and Shein are your worst enemy. They offer incredibly low prices, but at what cost? The temptation to buy cheap items can lead to overconsumption and low quality products being made, which makes a lot of waste. If you've recently visited a charity shop, you'll find that most of it's just Shein clothing. So before hitting that buy button, ask yourself this: do I really need it, or am I buying it because it's cheap? Another thing to ask yourself is, does this low price cheap item justify the environmental impact that it will have? Because items made on these apps are definitely not environmentally friendly, and they're definitely not made with ethical materials. And they're definitely not produced ethically either, but that's another topic. If you weren't already aware of how bad shops like Shein really are, then I recommend watching this documentary called Untold Inside the Shein Machine. Trust me, it's an eye-opener. So now you understand why it's pretty hard to actually stop impulse buying, I'm going to give you some tips on how to control those impulsive urges when you go shopping or if you're online, which will hopefully save you money, save the unnecessary waste, and also stop clutter from overtaking your home. My first tip: budgeting strategically when you get paid. Creating a budget around your pay schedule can hopefully prevent impulsive spending. Split your funds into 3 categories. 1, for your food and your bills. For 2, your savings and investments, which is important. And for 3, your disposable income, which you can spend however you like. This way you can treat yourself occasionally without going over the top, spending all of your savings and just going on a mad shopping spree. The next tip: assessing your current possessions. Before buying more, take in stock what you already own. It's easy to forget all the items that we have in our wardrobes, our drawers, and the loft. Before buying new clothes, I like to go through what I already have. This stops me from buying multiple things of the same thing that I may not actually need, but also it makes sure that whatever I buy will also pair with my current clothing. I literally live in leggings and hoodies, so I try not buy more of these because I've already got so many and I'm probably just going to wait until those I've literally worn them to death. As a side note to this point, try and get used to repairing broken or worn things, like clothing. I know so many people that literally just throw away things as soon as you have like a tiny rip or a hole in them, when they're so easily repairable, and all you need is some cotton and a needle and you can repair it yourself in minutes. I've even sewn socks back up if they've only had a tiny hole in them and they're in good condition still. I don't see the point in throwing them away. And also, socks are expensive. Good quality socks anyway. I think we live in a time where, because everything seems so disposable, we don't take the time anymore to repair things that aren't really that damaged or broken. Starting repairing things like clothing is a really good way to minimise waste around your house. It saves you money and it also stops a lot of stuff going to landfill. Which leads me to my next point, which is considering the lifespan of your purchases. Shift your mindset from short-term gain to long-term value. Think about the entire life cycle of a product, from its production all the way up to its disposal. Investing in high-quality, durable materials may cost you a little bit more upfront, but it'll reduce the amount of frequent replacements that you'll need to make, and also it'll save you money and it'll save on the waste. I mentioned this more in another video where I talk about how you can make more sustainable choices to make a difference to this world, all by using your purchasing power strategically and more consciously, so you can go and check that out next. On to another tip to help you stop impulse buying, and that is to ask yourself questions before every purchase. Pause and reflect before buying something and ask yourself these questions. Why do I want this? What drew me to this item? Do I genuinely need it? Will I still use it in a month? Can I find a sustainable alternative? Can I afford it? Answering these questions honestly can help you make mindful decisions and will hopefully knock your impulse on the head. By understanding the influences that drive your impulse buying, you're able to make more mindful choices, both for the environment and your wallet. And remember, each purchase that you make is a vote towards the kind of world you want to live in. Let's move away from the cycle of mindless consumption and instead choose to support sustainability, value, and a clutter-free lifestyle. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful and what you're going to do in the future to help you stop your impulse buying. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.